Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Watersurf Side Tangent. In this episode I want to discuss Adobe and why I'm finally done using their services. Now you may think, oh, it's because of the recent changes with their whole we can access your files whenever we want thing, but that's just a small factor and I'll be diving to that in a bit. The reason I'm saying goodbye to Adobe software is because I'm tired of paying the subscription fees, and I'm probably not alone with this one. So in this video, I will be talking about why I'm personally done using Adobe software, as well as the alternate software that I use for my own content creation purposes. Now, just to address the elephant in the room, and probably why most creators are fed up with Adobe. They recently made some changes when it comes to their software, and pretty much they can access your files whenever they want for whatever reason. Granted, I do understand why they want to make sure you aren't doing any, nefarious things with the AI generated content in their services, which I completely understand. However, the problem with this is that your work could and most likely would be used to add on to their AI generated source pool, meaning that they could use you as a database for their AI generative content. You see, AI needs content to pull from so it can generate new stuff for you. Without a database, AI is just the equivalent of a blank canvas. So why not pull from their user base and use their work for their database, because why not? I mean, you're already paying for their stupid high prices for their subscription model, and Adobe knows that creators and companies will still use their software regardless of whatever dumb crap they put into it. That brings me to my next topic. So, why do I have to pay almost $23 a month just to use After Effects? Why do you think $20 a month is okay for a f***ing document viewer? Want to use high quality assets like images, graphics, and videos? Well, that's gonna be another $30 a month, you butt wipe. It's okay though. You can always just get the entire Creative Cloud for $60 a month, as it includes everything. Well, I don't use everything, but it makes more financial sense just to get the $60 one, because it includes everything, right? No. I know I'm definitely not alone when I say this, but the software subscription model can go suck eggs. If I have to pay a certain amount every month or every year to use your software, it's an immediate turnoff. I understand it for just using it for just a month, but that's what the free trial is for, man. Realistically, unless you're going to use that software every day for the month, the 14-day trial is usually sufficient enough for something to do, real quick. To give Adobe some credit, I do know they offer deals around Black Friday where you can borrow their entire lineup for like 200 plus bucks for the entire year, but that's just borrowing their software and not digitally owning it. They also offer cheaper options for students, and I know that's how I used Adobe software during my college years. It's just that I'm tired as all hell for paying absorbent amounts for software that still manages to be buggy as hell, decades later. I know it's hard making programs, but raking in billions from the subscription model, they should at least be able to put some of that money back into the product, right? Nah. What are you, stupid? Stupid idiot? They don't do that. It goes right into their pockets. Yeah, that's a little secret for you. Shh, don't tell anyone. This is the part of the video where some of you might be thinking, we'll just sail the 7 seas, yarg, matey. And, pirate the software if you didn't get my joke. Everybody does it. Yeah, I can admit that in the early days, I did use cracked versions of the older software back when I was in high school. This just led to a lot of viruses inviting themselves into my computer and other headaches that come with that. So excuse me away from that. Plus, the software was never up to date, as I was always using CS3 or CS4, and I ended with CS6 when I was in high school, and that's when they eventually switched over to the subscription model when I got into like college or my senior year of high school. I don't really remember. When they finally went to the subscription model, it was finally cheap enough for me to, consider paying for it and get everything since, I was a student. I think it was like 20 bucks a month or like 180 for the entire year. So, sweet deal, right? Plus, it also auto updates, whereas the old versions never really had that. Pretty nice trade-off for a small fee every month or year, right? Now, I would say the upside of the subscription model is that your programs are always up to date, but at the same time, why do the programs still run like ass? Like, they ran like ass when I was in high school, and they still run like ass when I'm almost 30. Explain that one to me, Adobe. And trust me, it's not a computer issue either. There are newer programs that can run my footage in real time when it's not even edited yet, basically raw footage. So why does After Effects chug my basic ass 1080p footage when I haven't even done anything to it, including like chroma keying and all the other just basic VFX to it? It's 2024, and it's still ridiculous that I can barely play the raw footage without having it to load for like a hot second. It gets annoying when you have 100 plus VFX shots for that one video, and it's just so much time wasted. Like, I want to just slap it in my timeline and just get to work, but nope, I gotta wait for it to load so I can fully watch it back. But that's just me being weird, and I'm pretty sure there's gonna be Adobe defenders out there that are gonna be like in the comments. But yeah. Now, if you've noticed, I've really only been talking about After Effects because it was the only Adobe program that I use for mainly all of my videos. I rarely use Photoshop and only touch Premiere a handful of times. Audition is very nice, but recording vocal audio can be done in free programs with the same result. And I only use Animate, or as it was known as Flash, one time for our college project. Pretty bad, huh? Anyway, the rest I never touched, as After Effects was the main reason I was still holding on to Adobe for all this time. And it's just gotten to that point where the alternative software is finally able to take it on. I can say it's finally time to say goodbye to Adobe and talk about the programs that I personally use for my videos. Starting with the obvious, I've been using Vegas Pro to edit all of my content for pretty much the entirety of the 16 plus years I've been making content. Obviously, I started off with, Windows Movie Maker and eventually moved over to the cheaper version of Vegas Pro, which is Vegas Movie Studio. I think it was version 9.0 or something is when I finally migrated to that. It tells you how old I am. Anyway, I eventually moved over to Vegas Pro as it had a bit more features, and I've been using it ever since. I'm currently on Vegas Pro 21, and it pretty much can do everything I need it to do and keep up with my current workload, VFX included. Now, I know not everybody likes Vegas Pro, as it does have its issues and hiccups, but the current version feels like it's a significant upgrade and keeps up with my editing workflow with little to no hiccups along the way. I know it's not recognized as a professional editing program like Premiere and Avid are, but it's more than perfect for a content creator such as myself, and I could not recommend Vegas enough. I also want to mention that Vegas does have a subscription model that does have some extra bonuses that, to be honest, are okay, but they do have the permanent license option, which is what I use to, upgrade every few years or so as needed. Vegas Pro is always on sale, by the way, and you can get it for a pretty reasonable price if you're into, video editing like I am. Moving over to other programs from Magix, they also have another program called Vegas Effects, which is like a light version of After Effects. However, this program only comes with the post version of Vegas Pro and is more than enough for the type of content that I usually create. As another bonus, Vegas Pro 21 pretty much has Vegas Effects integrated into the software itself, so most VFX can be done inside the editing timeline without having to go to another program. Now, Vegas Effects does have some other things such as 3D model integration and fancy text effects or something, but to be honest, I haven't really used it all too much, but from what I did use for this video that's on screen right now, it pretty much did everything I needed it to do. Now, there's another program from a completely different company that shows promise as a complete After Effects alternative. The program is called Autograph from Left Angle and is distributed by Revision Effects, I believe. While the program has more of a focus on motion graphics, they are starting to put an emphasis on VFX that I normally use in my day-to-day video creation. They even allow some third-party plugins, so I can use some of the plugins I have in Vegas Pro in this program as well. Also, the biggest thing with this program is it doesn't have lag with raw footage from my camera. I can plop in one of my clips, and it doesn't need to chug like it did in After Effects. I also know that they say they have more things in the pipeline, or in the future they're going to be adding, and hopefully they add rotoscoping to the program, but until then, I have to use the Smart AI mask from Vegas Pro 21, which pretty much does the job, just takes forever. To note something as well, Autograph also does have a subscription model, but they do have a permanent license and allows updates up to 12 months after purchase. You can even upgrade for 1/6 of whatever you purchased that program for whenever they do the new updates after your 12 months are up. Now, I don't know how long the site will be running this as of writing this. They have it on sale for 50% off whatever option you decide to go with, whether it be the subscription model or the permanent license. I ended up finally getting it with this sale, and I look forward to what crazy things I can create, as messing around with the free trial was very, very promising. Now let's go ahead and slide on over to audio recording, as I use Audacity. Audacity is a free program and pretty much can do everything Audition does. Audacity is also something that I've been using even way before I knew about Audition. The best part about Audacity is it even has a feature that can remove like long pauses within your audio and little weird breaths that you take in between speaking, and other miscellaneous features that I couldn't begin to explain as I'm not really an audio guy. On top of that, I've never had Audacity crash on me for recording basic lines for my voiceovers or voice recordings. So not much else to say about it. And also it's free, so it doesn't hurt to download if you gotta record voices. Now moving over to Photoshop alternatives, and the ones that I've always seen mentioned is Affinity Photo. I don't actively use this program, as I never really used Photoshop all that much before. Believe it or not, I actually do all my thumbnails in my editing program, aside from the ones that I, hand draw or the drawing bits or whatever. Now I do use Affinity Photo from time to time for personal projects that aren't related to videos, but I know it is a good Photoshop alternative. Plus, I got it on sale and got a permanent license with it. The only downside is I believe they got bought out by Canvas, and people are saying that's bad or something. Not that I'm going to get into it right now, but it's just something I figure I'd mention if anybody cares about that, because I don't really care about that. Last but not least, I want to cover Animate Alternatives, or Flash. Why I rarely do 2D animation. I have two programs that I can use that can be good enough alternatives for it. For starters, why I personally don't use it, Blender is a free program that does have 2D animation in it. While it's primarily known for its 3D stuff, it also has 2D animation and even a VFX tab, but I wouldn't know where to begin with that. There's tons of tutorials online, and pretty much you got nothing to lose since it's free. It's also a good alternative compared to Maya or 3ds Max or those other expensive 3D animation programs for those tired of paying for, Autodesk stuff, but I wouldn't know where to begin with that since I haven't really touched Maya since college. The other animation program is Clip Studio. I actually use this program for drawing my thumbnails for my cast member stories and other drawing purposes, but it does have a built-in animation thing. Again, I wouldn't know where to start with it, but I want to mention that it is there for those who want to use it. On top of that, Clip Studio goes on sale a lot, and I believe the version that I bought was like $30 or something. Let's go ahead and get to wrapping up this video. Obviously, I'm not telling you to go out and cancel your Adobe subscription. I think the programs they have are pretty good, but as always, competition is good for the market, and I prefer using the cheaper stuff. On top of that, I was only paying for After Effects toward the end of my time using their products, and it was basic enough for my Chroma Key needs. I'm just tired of paying $23 a month for something that I don't digitally own. If I really need to use something from Adobe, I'll just bite the bullet and use it for that 1 month that I need it for. It's just that the alternatives are finally to a point where Adobe software isn't necessary to me anymore. It's finally time to say goodbye to Adobe for my own content creation purposes. Why spend almost $300 for the year when I can spend almost the same amount for something else and get to use it for a lifetime? Why do I want to spend all this money for something that's still as slow as it was a decade ago? Why spend my money on something that can look at my project files and use it for their AI database? Why spend money on Adobe? That's always been the question, and it's time to think about it for yourself. Of course, if you're interested. I'm sorry, Adobe. It's not me, but it's you. Consider this video a formal breakup, as Magix and Left Angle and Affinity and all these other companies can do what you can for a sliver of the cost. As of recording this, my last video with After Effects was actually my second episode of my Gaming Hour series, which just happened to be on the game Apocalypse if anyone wants to go check that out after watching this. Anyway, Adobe, we had a good run, but you need to work on yourself for me to even reconsider you again. Until then, this is goodbye. I would say take care of yourself, but I know you won't. I don't expect anyone from Adobe to watch this video, as I'm a really teeny tiny content creator, but here's my official breakup in case they do. Anyway, thanks for watching this episode of Watersurf Side Tangent. Now, to address something from the last video, I do appreciate all the comments telling me about holding the script and all that stuff. So I have this janky method where I have my laptop on a little TV tray that I've been reading off of. So hopefully it looks a little bit better than me holding a piece of paper. This series is my take on the video essay format, and I have a few episodes talking about YouTube if you are interested. You can also check out my Gaming Hour series where I talk about video games and review them in a comedy sketch style. Or heck, you could even get weird and look up my weird Watersurfian lore on my Connected Film Universe playlist. Or you can just get wild and go free roam mode, baby. Go to my YouTube channel and check that out. That is, if you are interested in my channel and want to, help support my content or whatever. Or, you can always just smash that like button and leave too. Whatever works. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Maybe not Adobe at least. Alright, bye-bye gamers.